Hi, I'm Kelly.
And hi, I'm Geoff.
And this is Blueprints for Belonging, where we're exploring how to build conscious connection in a disconnected world.
Because belonging doesn't happen by accident.
Mm-hmm.
It happens by design.
Hey, Geoff.
Hey, Kelly.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
Blueprints for Belonging.
Yep. And today we're continuing our series, The Pace of Connection, Slowing Down in a Speed-Driven World.
Yeah, so far we've talked about speed, we've talked about silence, and we've talked about attention. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit harder to see. Performance.
Yeah, and I think this one's a little tricky because it doesn't always look like disconnection. Sometimes it actually looks impressive.
I know. Well, it can look like that. It can look polished and thoughtful and even articulate. And yet sometimes something just feels a little off. Like you know something's not right, but you don't really know what it is.
Right. Like you're being talked at and instead of talked with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. That's what we're going to be exploring today, kind of looking at that difference between speaking for an audience and speaking for a connection. Because a lot of times we're just kind of polished about what we're going to say.
Right.
And
we've already figured it out.
We're
just going to blah, 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 blah.
Or sometimes we've had this practice and this is how you do it. Yet connection requires eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
It requires, what else do you think it needs for connection?
Well, active listening.
There you go. What is active listening? I think I'm listening, but...
Right. I don't... So I know that I do it, but I don't know how to teach it.
Okay. So active listening is kind of being aware of what is being heard. So making sure I hear what you're sharing is that you know how to do this, but yet you're not really sure how to teach it. Is that right?
Right.
Okay, so that's active listening.
Right.
I'm almost repeating something back because I want to make sure I hear you before I proceed farther.
Well, that's active reflection, I think.
Well, that's still listening.
Which is part of it. Yeah. So being able to reflect back what somebody hears is important. Visual cues is important. You know, when you contort your face to go with what somebody else is saying, then that reads to them that you are actually hearing them.
So today we're talking a little bit more about performative communication. And sometimes we might not be aware that we might have been in culture to do that.
Right. So what is performative communication?
Well, it's kind of, in some ways, we're going to find out more than you ever wanted to know today. Because it shows up just about everywhere, but it is shaped by how we think we're going to be perceived rather than by the desire to understand how to connect with another person. So
right.
And
right. It's what people are taught.
And why we think this really matters in our podcast is because if we're not aware of something and how we're using it, we continue to keep using it without that awareness to it, and it keeps showing up and giving us the same old issues, but we're not really sure what it is.
Right. Well, and connection requires authenticity and mutual presence, not presentation. So when that thing that you're so used to doing doesn't work anymore, you got to stop and think why.
So kind of an obvious place it shows up. You got to have an idea.
Yeah, social media posts, group conversations, professional or intellectual settings. I've had people talk at me a lot in my career. You know, that's their job.
And in some ways it's kind of, I don't know, over polished a little bit.
It can be, totally. It's not off the cuff. It's not a reflection of who's talking to you.
Well, one of the words that I think they use a lot in this type of environment is, how are you doing today? And what do you usually say?
I'm fine.
Right.
Well, because nobody asks you that question. Nobody who asks you that question actually wants to have the real answer.
Right.
You know.
So that's why we say I'm fine.
Right.
Because basically it says, I have a little song for this one too. Fuck it, never engage. That's what it means. So I'm fine. Okay.
I'm fine. Just don't ask me.
Don't ask me anymore. Right.
Yeah.
So we do it because in some ways this is a simple way to be in a community that I don't have to spend any energy to, or I don't have to risk being hurt or harmed. Because if
it's the easy route.
It's the easy route.
Right. I'm doing, well, it's desire for approval or belonging, you know, into whatever group you're trying to get into. And, you know, fear of judgment goes hand in hand with that. You know, you're looking for approval. You don't want to be judged.
Well, if I don't know what I'm talking about, sometimes that might be it too.
Right.
You know, so that's why I don't really want to share and talk about not me. I'm just saying that would be somebody else. They're not sharing what they're learning or the knowledge that they might have because they don't want to have that risk of being wrong.
Right. They're not 100% sure about everything they might say. So best not to say anything at all.
Best not to say anything at all.
Yeah.
So why do you think we do this?
Well,
we talked a little bit about it's safe, but why do you think we really...
Right. Well, we're afraid of judgment. So to avoid it, we go with what's easy. Identity construction. It helps us build our own identity. I mean, this is when I say identity, this is your ego.
Big time.
It's all driven by ego. You know, you create an identity based on your career and your family life and social circles that you think resonates with you until you get broken open at a later age and you go, oh, wait a minute, that wasn't me at all.
So in some ways, the way or the style that we communicate kind of reinforces how we want to be seen.
Right, like I'd go off, you know, talking about architecture, and you know, because I'm an architect, and I want you to see me as that, because I am an architect. Damn it, I went to school and I took the tests and I did everything. Yeah.
I sometimes have difficult. I'm not a teacher, but sometimes I get into teaching mode.
Right.
And I have to be aware that I'm in a teaching mode. It's not that I'm trying to teach you. I'm just trying to share this information.
Right, and the way you share that can come off as teaching.
It's teaching, right? Yeah. So I have to be aware of that. So,
isn't everyone always learning if it's something they don't already know?
Sometimes people don't want to learn.
Well, right.
They avoid learning, period. I'm done with school.
Right. So stop trying to teach me about this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sharing with you earlier that I think part of the way we, how we've been conditioned in our world in the past 60, 70 years has been with television. And that becomes this entertainment. And, you know, we've taken away play from our school systems. We don't get to play anymore, and as we were getting older, we're not really playing either because play is for kids.
Even though the kids today don't get to play.
And so play is important for our well-being. Then the way we communicate is also can be for our well-being too, if we're not sharing what might be working for me or not working for me, because I don't want to risk, you know, having you withdraw from my friendship, you know, so I just don't tell you anything. Or if I share something with you, you might attack me because it's not exactly the way you want to hear it. Or
oh, God, that is so sad. This is the world we live in, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
What is this? People can't be honest with each other because they're terrified.
I think it's not necessarily terrified. It's just I'm trying to protect myself from another person. Maybe they might perceive that they might be hurt or harmed by the words or actions of this person, so they don't share something as a way to protect themselves. And maybe in the past, if they've tried to share that with that person or another person or people, that they might have gotten chastised or removed from a group or worse, hurt or harmed.
Yeah. So, as a result of Yeah.
So really, anyway, part of our life is kind of paying attention to our environment and being aware of where our attention in our relationships, like we just had our phones, we forgot to make sure they were on do not disturb. Yeah. So life gives you these little moments to recheck in with yourself. So anyway, so this internal shift that we might have when we're starting to notice that are we using this to perform, to try to get this attention from this person, or are we being ourselves? Because I think a lot of people, they hold back from being their authentic self because they have this perception that they're not going to be welcomed, or they're going to be judged by who they are or how they react or how they relate to another person.
Case in point.
Okay.
If you grew up gay when I was growing up, you did not just come out of the closet. It was anticipated that your parents might actually kick you out of the house. And
scary.
I was terrified. Yeah, I was too scared to come out of the closet when I was still living under the financial support of my father, because he had made derogatory comments about a gay man at his office. And I thought, I'm not giving him that. No.
So then you started to practice performance.
Well, yeah. Or really exclusion. I just didn't say certain things. I still was very much myself with my father, but I began to not talk about everything because
for safety reasons.
He didn't need to know. Yeah, for safety reasons. Exactly. I knew I needed his support, so I didn't want to jeopardize that.
So I wonder what happens to us internally as we start to we can't be ourselves. What happens to us, do you think?
Well, I don't know if this is true for everybody. It's true for me that I identified with my perfectionism, and I took off in that direction. And that was my career that really helped that. My career choice was perfect for that. And that made me a very unhappy person because I could never reach the perfection that I was striving for. And
so curiosity really escaped you? Yeah.
I wasn't curious about hardly anything. I thought I knew everything. Yeah. And that's the difference between the Geoff that was then and the Geoff that's now. So really, and I don't even know how it exactly, I mean, I remember the events that happened and I said never again, that was in 2020. But yeah.
So you really weren't in a relational exchange with your family, because if I came out and shared what was going on or what was in my life, then I might be rejected.
Well,
so I had to be protective. Is that what you're saying?
Well, that was until I was out of the house.
Oh, okay.
So when I was no longer requiring any financial assistance from my father,
got it.
Then I didn't care so much. I could be myself.
Okay.
And I did, but I still did not come out to him until much later.
And how did he take that?
Oh, fine. Yeah, he was absolutely fine with it. I think maybe on some level he already knew, and so that helped soften the blow. But as he got older, he got more loosey-goosey. So
I wonder if he was trying to tease you out of at that moment to see if you would react to him sharing something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can't even remember. I think I told him after I moved to London.
You were quite a ways away.
It was a safe distance.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so funny.
So this performance that we get into...
But the performance as an architect was a very different thing.
It's a different...
That was my career, and it took me 30 years to figure it out.
And then I had to polish that, too.
Oh, hell yeah. No. Everything was polished. Everything was gauged as to, will they accept this, will they not? Just thinking about it makes me tired. I can't believe I did it for so long. it's just exhausting. You know, and that's the work environment for a lot of people, not just architects, everybody.
What I'm hearing is that we have to protect ourselves around people that we're not able to be who we are because we might have this fear of being rejected. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's often a fear of rejection. Yeah. Yep.
But even though it was financial, I mean, it was still a fear of rejection by your father.
Well, yeah, because he was the financier of my life. He was my support from age 6. Well, really from birth on. So, and I came out at 19. I was still living at home. I was going to college, but I was living at home. And he paid my bills through school. So I wasn't gonna, and I came out at 19. I just wasn't gonna do that. No, why? I had my sister, my sister knew. Both my sisters knew. My brother says he knew because someone he knows saw me at a nightclub. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you found out that way.
Right.
Yeah, and my mom claims she knew since I was 4 years old, which
goodness.
I think that is the craziest bullshit I've ever heard. Because nobody has a sexual preference at age 4.
What she heard she saw something.
She saw that I was a sensitive boy,
Yeah.
and sensitive boys were always assumed to be gay, but that's not necessarily true.
No, it's not true. Right. Well, good. So some people, they have kind of a, I call it a story that we have in our head, and we try to look for evidence to make it true.
Right.
So,
to plug in those real things to make the story make sense.
right. So performance communication styles in relationships, what are those like, do you think?
Well, I guess, yeah. A relationship with a narcissist. That's what it looks like. And you may not even realize it. So I was friends with the same group for 30 years. And then I finally saw what was really happening and said, no, I'm not doing this. And it was lying and manipulation, which...
That they were doing with you? Or?
Oh, they did it with me.
Okay.
They did it with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, I don't want to be part of this system. And the reason I bonded with them in the beginning was because my mom was a narcissist, and my brother and my sister both had narcissistic tendencies. So it felt familiar. That's a bad reason to go with a group of friends, because it feels familiar, because chances are it feels familiar. Yeah, family-like. And most people's families are a little messed up. Yeah, so... And then my relationship with my mother is the other one. Is again, a narcissist. They require you to mask around them, basically. So I was the youngest, I was the baby, I was the architect, I was successful until I decided to give up architecture. And she just couldn't get it. And so I was a disappointment in that respect. But by that time, I'm like, well, I don't care.
So when you got to be you, or who you were, not who this image of what she wanted you to be.
That was very freeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because that was a part of, so me finally, being okay with telling her that and not wanting to placate her by going back into architecture is all since 2020. So that's my big growth years.
So in some ways we have to kind of maintain our appearance or our identity of who we are in front of all of these people that we meet. And then sometimes we get...
It's hard work.
It's hard work if we don't remember who it was.
Yeah. Who was supposed to be with this person? I forget.
Right. So in some ways, we might leave relationships or leave friendships because we're too vulnerable with that person, or we're too exposed with that person, or maybe they pick up on something if we're trying to keep that performance kind of relationship going.
Yeah, undamaged. And, oh no, they're going to see right through this. To be worried about that.
For sometimes, for you, kind of, I'm guessing that you at times might have felt unseen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And feeling like you were talked to or talked at.
Yeah.
Not having a conversation with the person. You were,
Yeah, I was always being talked at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for all of you out there who are youngest children, I feel your pain. Because you will always be your mother's baby. Even on her deathbed, she will refer to you as Jeffrey Baby. And I'm like, I'm not a baby anymore. I haven't been for a long time, but
it was her way of holding you in her heart.
Right.
That you were her baby.
Yeah. Which means she never truly saw me for who I became.
That's what you were concerned about in your relationship with her. Right. You wanted to be an adult.
I want to be who I am. And she couldn't let me do that.
And that's, in some ways, that's another part that we're exploring about these connections, are the ways that we connect with our family, with our friends, with other people. Because how we're being perceived, you're my friend, you're my business partner in some sense, We're working these things together. We're co-presidents of an organization.
Right.
And we're working on these things together. We have to have a different type of skill set to be able to do these co-things together. Right? Whereas some people is like, okay, fine, whatever, But no, you and I have a little different way that we. Tell me more about that. Tell me how you do that.
Right.
We kind of engage in a little different way. So, and I'm really grateful that I have someone that is exploring these wonderful topics that excite me to support and help other people learn and grow about connection skills.
Yeah. So much gratitude in this room.
I know. So we're going to talk a little bit more about performative and relational communication. You want to share a little bit more about that?
Oh, the relational experience? It's just not fun. It's not fun being in a relationship where you have to perform. It's why I said I don't want to be an architect anymore.
Okay.
It's part of the reason why I'm glad that my mother finally passed away after years of being miserable, and it was painful to do it, but I said goodbye to that group of friends because they no longer served me. And that can be hard. My group of friends doesn't look as big as it used to, but they weren't really my friends.
So you're talking about a community that you were in.
Yeah, the community of friends that I was attached to for 30 years.
And even to your mother.
Well, yeah, for even longer. Yeah, I can tell you it's nice to be released from those. Because, well, it's part of the reason why I opened the business that I opened. I want to help people be seen. And
be heard.
Because I spent a whole life not being heard or seen. Often as an architect I did, because people looked to me for expertise. As time went on, I became really good at what I did. But that's just a skill that gets blown up into, oh, well, yeah, I'm an expert.
So for this segment of this, I'm going to give us little definitions here. Performative communication is about being perceived correctly answering, asserting, and protecting your image. Relational communication is about understanding, asking, exploring, and allowing imperfection. So you might even say one is about looking connected and the other is about actually being connected.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So in your relationships with your friends, it really wasn't about being connected. It was about looking like I'm connected.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was all about looks.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about performing.
Mm-hmm.
I had certain jobs that I took on the role of photographer.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else had been doing that at most of the events, but then I started bringing my camera, and that person stopped coming to the events. Mm-hmm. So therefore, it was now my job, mm-hmm. and I didn't mind it because I love taking pictures. Mm-hmm. But it has occurred to me that I wonder what they do for photographs now. Because they don't have me or
somebody
the
else
other person
took over
taking the pictures for them. Yeah.
So over time, that performative type of communication kind of erodes the trust you might have in these relationships and create that emotional distance.
And you begin to feel the disconnection happen.
Yeah, or really more vulnerable, and you just don't want to have that vulnerability that's there because it's really scary.
Right. I can't really speak to that, but I can speak to the lack of connection. Mm-hmm. And
well, so when I can't trust somebody, if I don't think they've got my back, or
right, which became the case with these people. Yeah, I didn't trust them at all. Mm-mm. And if you don't have trust, you can't have friendship.
You know, some people can see us. Some people can even respect us, but they truly do not know who we are.
Well, no.
Because that takes time and a willingness to explore and share and to take more time, to use curiosity to understand what's happening for that person or what they're dealing with.
Right. No, I mean, and through, we share our stories on here. Mm-hmm. You're getting to know us little by little. Mm-hmm. That same thing happens in real life. Mm-hmm. So you have to, to build a relationship with an individual, it requires some vulnerability on both parts. Mm-hmm.
And I think in this day and age, it's for some people that cost is too much.
Right.
And so they use other forms of, I know a lot of people they don't hang out with friends anymore. They don't go out to eat anymore. They just stay at home and watch TV. Mm-hmm. It's safer, it's just a safe way to be. Anyway.
Right.
So, when our communication becomes performative, there's relational consequences that kind of unfold over a period of time. Like for you, and you were sharing about, I didn't really want to risk that vulnerability with this set of friends, and I found my way to get out of that friendship group, right?
Yeah, actually, I did share vulnerability with the leader of the group years ago, and I was really vulnerable. And I can't even tell you her response, but it wasn't what I needed. And so...
So sometimes what we're looking for in our relationships is this affirmation of who we are, and we're okay with that not staying on the surface, but going in that depth of direction. I've shared a lot of my depth of my directions in my life, and without that genuine curiosity that you have, it might be, hey, I'm done. I don't really want to know any more about you.
Right. Not another story.
Right.
Oh, Lord.
Right.
That woman never shuts up.
I got plenty of stories.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. Anyway, so, people leave or they sense how they're going to be cared for in this relationship. And I know some people in romantic relationships have some difficulty. They're not clear if they're going to get this relationship or if they're going to have a safe relationship with this partner. So they might be vulnerable to having relationships with other people while they might still be in that relationship with that partner. We call those, some people might call it cheating.
Right.
Some people are checking out their other options. You know,
they're just calling it polyamorous. Right. Polyamorous. Yeah,
I'm just going to check out what I can find out there before I leave this one.
Right. Well, because I want to make sure I secure a good deal before
Well, just think about it. You probably didn't leave that friend connection until you had another friend connection. Maybe, I'm guessing.
Well, it kind of happened at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And I realized, and I wrote my journal about it. I'm like, well, I say goodbye to that group, but I've said hello to this group. And
so you found another one.
I found other people. Yeah. And that's who I surround myself with now.
So what do you think about trust? How do you think trust gets developed in relationships?
I'm going to say that word again. Vulnerability.
Oh, I'm going to say integrity.
Well, the two are very closely
They're very
connected.
related,
Yeah.
right. In fact, we're going to have a little episode on integrity, but we haven't quite figured out how we're going to do it. But we're going to talk about it.
We are going to talk about that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So trust is sometimes a little difficult, but it's when we feel that we have trust in our relationships, there's a little more evidence of our authenticity in those relationships when I have trust with a partner or with a friend or a group. So,
yeah, because trust, once you have trust, you can be your authentic self. Yeah, that's what's needed is trust.
So I'm going to close this with kind of like looking at our big framework here. So building awareness is when we're noticing when we are speaking to be perceived, how we're going to be looked at. If we're only giving that type of discussion or sharing about something is, I'm not sure how I'm going to be perceived, but I'm going to be safe. So I'm going to use it that way.
Yeah.
Investigating, what am I trying to protect or gain? And the choice that I might have here is, how can I shift myself toward looking more at curiosity instead of, putting on this big presentation of who I am. So,
yeah, curiosity is a little scary for a lot of people.
Yet it builds connection.
It does, I know.
It does. It's just it's a fun way of, how do I allow myself to be me and to be curious about what it is for somebody else to be them. So in this week, we're going to talk a little bit about some, I didn't put them on here, kind of an awareness practice for this week.
Right.
Talk about that one.
Well, yeah, the awareness practice. In a conversation, gently ask, am I trying to be seen, or am I trying to see? That is a good discernment to
work on.
To work on. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and you can notice certain things. So, practical application of this is ask before stating. Why curiosity builds connection. You can name intentions. I want to understand, not just respond. This reorients the interaction. So allow imperfection. Speak without over-polishing. Yeah. It's okay to be imperfect.
It's all right.
Because you are imperfect, my love. Yes, we all are.
Yeah.
Perfection doesn't exist. I just
only in your mind it does.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that crazy little story maker of yours.
Yep.
Right. And then you can notice the audience in your mind. Who am I imagining right now? This brings awareness to performance. So it helps you think about it. So you can do those things as well. And the awareness practice is good. Am I trying to be seen, or am I trying to see?
I think that's a really good way to kind of practice this next week.
Yeah. everybody get your discernment out. We're going to need it. It's like your protractor.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, this one made me realize how often I'm just talking to one person. I'm, when I am and when I'm not. And actually, so...
Well, you're not just talking to one person. You're talking to lots of people in your head. There's not just the one person that you might be speaking to. Like, you and I are sitting across from each other. I might be talking to one person. But there's a whole lot more little entities inside my head, as well as your head.
Right.
So...
Right. And well, you wouldn't speak the same way to everybody.
No.
And I prefer one-on-one conversations. Mm-hmm. As I've gotten older, I'm less into the big crowds and much more into one-on-one. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not just talking to one person. I'm talking to everyone who might hear it. Which, when you're creating a podcast, that's true.
Right. There's a lot of people who are going to hear it.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so that's an important awareness to have, because, the moment we know that there's an audience in our mind, that's when our connection starts to shift.
Right.
There's an audience in my mind. How cool is that?
Well, they must be hungry, because I haven't fed them.
I sing to them all the time. Little story machines are up there.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, and that is an audience, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's story machine. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it becomes less about the relationship and more about the impression when your connection shifts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this week we just noticed that when you're speaking, who are you speaking to? Mm-hmm. Is it the person in front of you or the audience in your mind?
Right. Who are you performing for?
Who are you performing for, right.
Right. And what happens if you bring it back to just one person from that audience in your mind?
That's where the connection lives.
Right. That's where active listening actually lives.
That's right.
Yeah. You too can do it if you can just pay attention to the person in front of you.
I liked your voice. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening.
Yes,
Come back
thank you very
next
much.
Week.
We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Blueprints for Belonging. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow. Leave a 5-star rating for us and share it with a friend.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Your support helps us keep building conscious connection in this disconnected world.